Myself, Angita Tiwari, from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology, from ITSC department. I am going to take a session from the subject, that is computer vision. Subject code is 3171614. The module that we are going to cover is module number 7, that is motion tracking. In that, we are going to cover the topic that is statistical filtering and iterated estimations. So what do you mean by motion tracking? Basically, motion tracking is also, we can say that it's an object tracking. So an important area of computer vision is the real-time object tracking, means the motion of any of the object which is to be tracked, which is now widely used in many of the intelligent transportations that we are using it in the day-to-day lives. Also the smart industry technologies that we are using it. Although the correlation filter object tracking, the filtering techniques that we are going to learn for the object tracking methods have a good, that is real-time tracking effect that we have, it still faces many challenges like scale variation, then occultations and the boundary effects with respect to boundaries, with respect to different scales, with respect to the object parameters. Many of the things are being varying, or we can say it has an effect on the tracking. So many scholars have continuously improved, that is existing methods, defining for the better efficiency and tracking effects that can be reduced, and we can get a clear image, or we can say that we can track the object or the motion of the object in a very good way. So with respect to that, to provide a comprehensive understanding, we can say, of the background, that is a very big factor. The key technologies and the algorithms of the simple, that is single object tracking. Now this session that we are going to do today focuses on the correlation filter based object tracking algorithms, which is having a very good, or we can say comprehensive understanding of the background of a particular object. So computer vision basically refers to the use of cameras, the computers, instead of the human eyes, means that we see by the human eye from our retina scan. There is a different image. The same thing has to be analyzed by the computer as well. So to visualize, we can say the recognize, track and measure the targets. So first, the image processing is performed so that the processed image is more suitable for a human eye. It is observation or instrument detection. So we can say the process of visual object tracking is to track the target state in the subsequent, that we can say in video sequences. What video sequences is being done with respect to frames. So with the presented initial position that we have and the size of the target that we want to take it. So currently we can say the object tracking is widely used in the transportation hub monitoring, medical imaging, we can say human computer interaction, and the other related fields that we have for the object tracking. So the applications of object tracking, we can say we have various applications, but the most of the popular applications of the motion tracking is application of the object tracking is unnamed, that is aerial vehicles, that is UAVs, which is commonly known as drones, that we are using it day-to-day life, and we are basically using it. So compared with the human eye, the drone has the advantage of stability and accuracy, that is accuracy, that is capturing. Therefore drones that is using the object tracking technology can achieve more robust tracking results that we are getting, that we will not be getting through the human eye. So the application of object tracking in the industrial automation, we can say, is another application of object tracking. So all industries are developing very intelligently, okay, in different fields, and object tracking is very widely used in any of the fields. Third application that we have is application of the object tracking in intelligent transportation that we have. And today an efficient transportation selection system is vital for the masses that we have. So in intelligent transportation, the real-time monitoring, we can say, or the tracking of the vehicles can be achieved using object detection and tracking technologies. So now the word comes motion tracking. So object tracking, or we can say motion tracking, is an important component of the computer vision. So object, we can say object or motion tracking can be divided into single object tracking and also multi-object tracking. So with respect to that, the process of single object tracking, we can say, is to find the calibration of target in the next sequence based on the given first frame information. So in single object tracking, there are two non-depth methods, okay, which are that methods, that is generative methods and discriminative method. So at present, there are 5 stages of the discriminating method that is commonly used as, we can say, motion model that we have, then feature extraction that we have, observation model that we have, model update and query that we have. So many of the object tracking, that is steps we are available for the discriminative method. Here we are going to have an image. This image shows how a motion tracking takes place in a particular application, in any of the application. We are having an image, that is input image, that is being applied as a motion model, which is being represented as a motion model. Motion model, we have already studied different types of model used to represent any object. Then feature extraction that we have, from that which we want to take it as a feature. Like feature extraction, we have edge detection, we have lines detection, boundary detection, we have many of the things available in feature, means in terms of feature that we want. Okay, so here the feature extraction with respect to the thing that we want, with respect to different features that extraction that we have, then the model should be updated. So that is being made and it is given to the prediction model, where the prediction, we can say the observation, will be done with respect to the different lines or the criteria that we are taking with respect to the extraction of feature. And then it will be integrated into the particular model that we have and that we want, that is output image that we wanted, which is also known as the integrated method that we've already applied to the prediction method. Prediction 1 we have taken, prediction 2 and prediction n. In that one prediction we will have been assumed it as an output, and that will be integrated to an output image. So this is what a motion tracking process is. So at first the image to be processed needs to be input, and the motion model that we have already updated here also needs to be selected. So the motion model, which is used to generate candidate, we can say sample information, which may contain the target. So the speed and quality of the sample generation effect, the speed and the effectiveness of the entire tracking will be dependent on it. So the motion model typically includes particle filtering, the 2 types, and the sliding windows that we have. So particle filtering, that uses particle sets to represent the probabilities that we have or we are finding it, or it can be used for the various state space models that we have. So this method, we can say, is approximately, the probability one is the probability density function that we are finding it by finding a set of random samples that is propagating in the state space that we are taking it, and replaces that integral operation with the same mean, that is sample mean. And the sliding window that we have generates a series of candidate samples on the calibration target frame that we want to have through the cyclic matrix method. Now the next, the feature extraction is performed. Okay, these are the different steps. The feature extraction is used to find the features in the candidate region which are unique with respect to identifying the target. And in the object tracking, the quality of the feature has the most important point that we have in order to consider whenever we are taking the motion tracking. So the observation model is used in order to determine whether the current sample is matching the tracked object or not. Now the generative model, we can say, all the descriptive model, we can say, are divided according to the observation model that we have. So the generated model is tracked by searching for the object that is most similar to the target in the current area. And this is the template matching process, we can say, where sparse representation is the most commonly used method. Where finally a discriminate model is obtained through learning a discriminator, and the discriminator is used to discriminate whether the current sample is the target or not. Now the various correlation filter tracking algorithms that we have. So in 2020, the correlation filtering method was used in object tracking for the first time. So after nearly a decade of development, after much more time, the correlation filter tracking algorithms have been matured. So in this chapter we will going to introduce the development of the correlation filter algorithm that we have. So the specific development process is as follows, as we have the first algorithm that we have that was developed, that is MOSE algorithm. The MOSE algorithm that includes the correlation filter technology into the visual tracking field. This kind of algorithm that we are talking about can adapt the problems of population that we have, the 3 problems, and the rotations, and then achieve an amazing tracking speed of 669 fps. So this is the feature we can say for this particular algorithm, running 26 times faster than the advanced MIL algorithm that we have. The MOSI algorithm is trained by the first frame and have strong robust performances for the illumination scale and the posture variation that we have for a particular image. So when the target is occult, the algorithm can determine the status of the object tracking and update the filter parameters according to the PSR values, which can be tracked again. So in the MOSI algorithm, to create a fast tracker, the fast Fourier transform is used. The technology is used as a fast Fourier transform, which is used to calculate the correlation in the Fourier domain. So first, calculating the 2D Fourier transform of the input image, that is f is equals to f of t or f of f, and the filter, that is h is equals to f of f h. So the convolution theorem that states that the correlation is the element multiplication in the Fourier domain. So the symbol that is dot with respect to that is NOR gate symbol, it's of NOR gate, okay, X NOR, which represents the element by element multiplication, and star indicates the complex, we can say conjugate, and the representation of correlation, which is follows as the formula is defined as G is equals to convolution formula, that is G is equals to F, that is of symbolic notation, with H. Okay, so here where G, F and H, that is the response output, input, and the different parameters, template parameter that we have. Now the other algorithm that we have is CSK algorithm. Unlike the traditional MOSI algorithm using a sparse sampling that we are taking if G is equal to H and F, the CSK algorithm used a 10 sampling method. So the use of 10 sampling leads to computational burden problems that we have. The CSK algorithm uses the nature of the cyclic matrix to introduce a fast Fourier transform to speed the algorithm. So in addition, the CSK algorithm also introduces the kernel techniques on the MOSI to improve the accuracy. So Gaussian kernel is used in CSK to calculate the correlation between the two adjacent frames. Now specifically we can say the CSK linear classifier solves the correlation filter tracking expression as follows, that is minimum of the value of sigma, that is I to n, L of I of I, F of x of I plus, that is lambda of w, that is the parameter whole square, where I is the number of samples after the 10 sampling, and w corresponds to the correlation, that is correlation filter H. Okay, so the problem is solved by the ridge regression method, where L is the loss function of the least method. The KCF algorithm that we have, the KCF is a classical of the traditional discriminant method. This series of algorithm learns filter from a series of training samples. So like CSK, we can say the KCF sample generation method uses the cyclic shift method. The shift method is applied like assuming one-dimensional data as x is equals to one-dimensional x1, x2 till xn. The cyclic shift of x is denoted as, we can say p of x is equals to, it is totally shifted. Xn will be dropped and will be shifted here. So xn, then x1, then x2 till x of n minus 1. So all cyclic shift samples from a cyclic matrix are given as x is equals to c of x for x1, x2 till xn, xn, xn minus 1 till x1, x1. So we can say that is it uses m cross n image, that is block x, to train a filter that is f of x, of w, the filter parameter that is h, comma psi of x, where it generates a training sample by performing a cyclic shift operation on x. So the training samples include all cyclic shift forms of p of I, where I belongs to 0 till n minus 1 into 0 to n minus 1. So each p of I generates a corresponding score, that is y of I, that is y of I belongs to 0, 1, which is generated by a Gaussian shift algorithm that we are applying for a shift distance. Now the iterated estimation that we have, the estimation of the motion of a moving camera is ubiquitous, that is problem in the field of computer vision. So with technology we can say, such as self-driving cars, we can say, or the autonomous drones becoming more popular. So fast and efficient algorithm that is enabling the onboard video processing are needed to return timely and accurate information at a low computational cost. So this estimation of the camera movement, or the pose estimation, is also a crucial component of the target tracking aboard moving vehicles or the platforms. So the pose estimation algorithms utilize frames of a video feed from a moving camera to generate hypotheses for how the camera has moved over the course of each consecutive frame. So until now, the algorithms used for the pose estimation require the generation of up to 5 to 10 hypotheses for how the camera will be moving given the data in the video feed. So these hypotheses were then scored by how well they fit in the data, and with the highest scoring hypothesis being chosen as the pose that is best post estimate. So unfortunately, we can say the generation of the multiple hypotheses that we are assuming it is computationally expensive and results in slower processing. So with respect to that, the researchers have found a very good way to see or to give hints to that is an already used algorithm in computer vision by feeding it information in between the each of the frame so that it will get it correctly and it will get very quickly. So thus reducing the need for generating many hypotheses. So at each iteration, we use the current best hypothesis to seed the algorithm. This line that is defined with the reduction. So the reduction of the required hypothesis directly results in the reduced computational time and complexity. We show that this approach significantly reduces the number of hypotheses that we have or that must be generated, and will be posing the real-time application or the real-time algorithm that we have. So we can say the team then compared their seeding method to other state-of-the-art post estimation algorithm to classify how reducing the number of hypotheses affect the accuracy of the computation. So after 100 iterations that we are talking about the hypothesis, error for the seeding method that use the prior information is comparable to the OpenCV 5-point polynomial solver, which is a predefined software which defines the equation solving iterations or the application. So despite the fact that only one hypothesis is generated per iteration instead of an average of 4 hypotheses. So furthermore, when the two algorithms were examined in that time, the team's algorithm significantly outperformed the other state-of-the-art methods, and most of them it was 10 times faster. So the group then modified their algorithm to enable the target tracking and tested it on a multi-router event. So the algorithm successfully tracked multiple tracks at 640 into 480 resolution. The results were consistent with their earlier analysis. So the complete algorithm takes 29 milliseconds to run per frame, which means it is capable of running in real time at 34 frames per second. So these were the things about the iterations that we have, estimations with respect to iterations, and we have also completed the correlation filter methods or the techniques that we have. So here we have completed the topic. The next topic we are going to do in the next session. Thank you.